And the next map will be Blistering Sands. This is such an aggressive map. We always say it is an aggressive map. What IdrA needs to do is to control the Reaper just like before, and what he will try to do is that he will try to break down through the destructible rocks, and IdrA has to be super careful about that.
I mean, I don't even mind a 5 barracks play without Reaper on this map, just trying to abuse that backdoor entrance. That Roach Zergling composition is only so effective. You need a lot of drones to be able to sustain it reasonably. So I definitely think that Morrow's mid-game pushing style will
trying to
end up
invite you
working
to
really
the game
well.
and I actually kicked you out by mistake.
Yeah, I
I'm
was
sorry.
banned as the caster. That's okay. It's something that I'm used to. I could totally just cast by intuition, but either way, it looks like we are finally going to be starting the game in just a bit. But Blistering Sands is not a map that I really am liking too much if I'm IdrA. Normally, again, we say IdrA is the late game player, and getting to the late game is tough here. We've seen IdrA just do a huge Zergling Roach all in.
And this is pretty interesting with the maps. Every time Morrow decides to go for these Reaper builds, and on the first map, on IdrA's map, Morrow takes the win. On the second game was Morrow's map, and IdrA takes the win. So we are actually going back into IdrA's map. He chose this map, and he feels confident on it. I mean, he must do if he chose it.
I mean, I guess it's the long distances where he has the time to respond, and also there's that key Xel'Naga watchtower that's right outside your opponent's base. When you're being aggressive, you can put a unit up there, and when Terran has to move out, the Zerg will immediately see it, see what sort of army mix there is. Also, if there's any sort of Banshee or Medevac push coming, controlling those 2 Xel'Naga watchtowers gives you so much information. So the only way to really do any drop or any air attacking at all is to swing way far around on the opposite sides of the map.
And it's going to take so long to go around the outsides of the map instead of going directly through the middle. And I think Morrow will be using the Xel'Naga towers a lot because he's going to be the aggressor early on. It depends how well IdrA defends, depends on if IdrA will then become the aggressor.
That's true, that's true. And one thing that we still have not seen out of Morrow, I think at any point in this tournament, is mech play. I would love to see some more mech. This map, you can get that gold expansion sort of reasonably early on, and even if not, I mean, there's a lot of these early cute pushes where you get 6 or 7 Hellions and 1 tank, and considering that IdrA has been favoring delaying that layer a little bit, getting a few more Zerglings, getting a few more Roaches, I think that will definitely be a good choice for Morrow.
Yeah, if Morrow goes for that kind of style of play, this map, we have seen him use tanks before. And he is so good at using any Terran strategy. He is an all-round player.
Yeah, it's those fundamentals.
And it's not only the strategy, it's the builds, the timings, the execution. No matter what he does, he can pull it off.
He does need to do a little bit more harassment, though. Whenever he does have these mid-game pushes set up, he sometimes does go into passivity. But either way, we're going to be going into Game 3 on Blistering Sands in just a moment. If you are a fan of IdrA, give a cheer to your favorite American superhero. And Morrow, oh, of course, our Terran player needs a little bit of love as well. Cheer for your friendly Morrow. Currently tied 1-1. Morrow spawning in the bottom left as the red Terran. In the top right, we have IdrA as the blue Zerg.
It would not surprise me at all, Day 9, if actually Morrow went for the same build again. He strongly believes that this is the way to gain an advantage early, to beat down any Zerg player. And we really have to see exactly how he plays it out, and will IdrA be able to defend this map compared to the last. Is if you look to the left of IdrA's base, there is a lot of empty space without any creep, and so these Reapers are going to be able to move up and do a lot of damage. But the counter to that is IdrA has to stay on the creep. He cannot miss micro and fall off the creep, because that's when Reapers become extremely dangerous.
So IdrA, notice scouting at a little bit leftward of an angle, wants to spot if there are any proxies getting thrown down near the center of the map, and of course wants to get, this is such an important position because a lot of times players will build barracks and factories at the front of their base, and you can sneak in with that Overlord and see everything that's going on. And IdrA, I don't think is going to be doing any deviations at all. As we've seen, his decision making as the game progresses gets better and better and better, or even from game to game, IdrA getting that Roach Warren really early and getting so many Roaches in game 2 helped them stay alive.
The best way to describe IdrA's play is like a tree trunk, and then he has a solid build order to start off with, 14 gas, 14 pull, and then he'll branch off in different directions. Do you like that? Do you like that terminology?
So that's why you were up late last night. That is a great
analogy.
I was
thinking about that for
must
so
have taken
long.
until 3 in the morning. That is exactly how IdrA plays. He is throwing down the spawning pool in the back of his base. We also are seeing that the barracks will be throwing down a tech lab momentarily. No Marines getting produced out of it yet. And also IdrA's movement path with his Overlord is very safe. Not going to lose anything to that first Marine.
Yeah, he cannot lose it. That was a big blunder by him last game. And this is walled off. I don't think this drone can get in. The drone is stuck on the outside, will not be able to steal any gas, will not be able to see exactly what Morrow does. And Morrow, even he could actually transition into some Banshees because IdrA's going to play with this roach style. I mean, he could actually do a lot right now from actually stopping him scouting.
Queen is about 40% done. Zergling speed has just started. The Reaper is en route. And will we see Reaper speed again? This has been probably the most popular Terran style of play in this entire tournament. Yep, there's the Nitro pack goes down. Morrow's getting that very early refinery. Again, might seem like a little bit of an odd choice, but when he does get that racks 4 and 5 up, it's hard to support that many Reapers because it takes so much gas. So he's starting to get it very early so we can end up with 16 Reapers extremely early on.
And here come the 2 standard SCVs that Morrow does every game. 3 barracks are being placed down. We are going to see exactly the same build by Morrow. And will IdrA be able to defend against this? He did extremely well last game. The hatch is going down now on about 24. Creep is being spawned around the outside of IdrA's main. Overlord done. And look at the production tab. Just Reapers are being made.
And it looks like Morrow is just advancing very cautiously. We saw him stop by both Xel'Naga watchtowers, didn't want any sort of goofy counterattack to occur. Sometimes players will do a fast pool style and just try to rush and bust in, but we can see that Morrow is locked down tight, has barracks 2 and 3 almost done. Supply depot also getting planted at the back, destructible rock. Very solid play by Morrow.
The 2 tech labs are being put down on here. And look at IdrA with this Overlord you were talking about before. He's going to make sure he sees exactly what's going on and will be able to branch off, as I said, into the right counter to how Morrow is playing.
Morrow's doesn't look like he's doing anything with his money quite yet. He should definitely throw down barracks 4 and 5. He's making a Marine to try to shoot at this Overlord, but it's not going to kill it in time, I don't believe, unless that Marine is some sort of giant mega superhero and has a sniper rifle and can take that Overlord out from a long range, but no. There's the very late barracks 4 and 5. Quite surprised by Morrow there.
Yeah, and we are looking over at IdrA's base right now, and the Roach Warrant is going down. Creep is being spread really nice, and in come the Reapers. This Queen has to be careful because these Reapers will be able to kite it. He is doing damage to the hatchery. Lings come in to save the day for that Queen. Roach Warrant is done now, and the lair is being started to be done.
And now that there's creep around, he will be able to do a little bit more damage, but oh, again, you got to be so careful with the cliffs on this map. IdrA just easily running around. Wait a minute, will Morrow escape? No way, he manages to get out with those 2 Reapers, so few free kills there for Morrow.
And then I'm looking at the production tab right now. 2 roaches are being made. Creep has been put down. I love the Overlord placement around his base. He can see everything and knows exactly where they are. Are these Lings going to stay there? If, oh no, Morrow decides to go on the front. If he go around the back, then that could have been extremely dangerous for him.
You know, I was even talking to Morrow a little bit about this yesterday, that too often players are jumping up cliffs with Reapers, but in Zerglings that are waiting there for him are just do so much damage. It's these attacks at the front with Reapers that are so scary because this is where the creep spread is least, and look at that. Reaper's doing amazing damage at the front. If he keeps pushing, he might be able to pull ahead.
And IdrA right now playing really well, defending superbly. He's got to be careful though, because when you hit this amount of Reapers, you try to surround with his Lings, you actually can't get the surround off to keep the Reapers still, and then you just lose everything. So he's actually not trying to do that. He's sitting back and still just producing the right amount of units and the right amount of drones.
And you see that snipe on the creep tumor, such an excellent way to continue allowing for some aggression. And IdrA doing the smart thing, pulling back, trying to go for the surround, but the Reapers are in too great of numbers. He is going to be able to pick off all the Zerglings. That was a nice attempt by IdrA, but again, he is under the gun. He needs to make sure that his hatchery does not fall.
Yeah, like I said, that is why you cannot push out with that many Lings. You have to have more. And these Reapers went off the creep. They have to be careful. Reapers, nice micro there by IdrA, pulling the damaged one back. And this is very intense micro here by both players.
I mean, this isn't just ordinary micro. This is micro in Game 3 of the finals against who is largely considered to be the best player in the world at this point in time. Morrow getting a little bit of a stockpile of money there, trying to get any shot that he can off on that hatchery, but looking around at IdrA's base. Does he have any other tech structures? No. He is just making roaches and lings. His roach speed is almost done, and that will allow the pressure to lighten up a little bit. But look at how many Reapers he has. How many is that? He currently has 15 Reapers out right now.
And Morrow is only producing more Reapers. He is not moving into the Marauder style he did last game. He is solely producing Reapers, and I think that might be the mistake because the roach speed is done now, and he's able to fight back against these Reapers, and he pushes them outside of his base, and Morrow is forced to actually go back to his own. A very nice defense once again by IdrA, delaying the Reapers until the roach speed was done.
And it looks like Morrow's just going to come over here to the backside. And oh no, he didn't generate creep with any of these overlords. That spread is very, very thin in the back of the base. And he's going to begin microing right here. And that one roach will fall down if he just gets one more extra shot off. But no, Morrow playing as safe as he can. And now moving towards the front door. This is the huge issue with this map, is that it is very difficult to defend the back and the front at the same time.
A lovely defense here by IdrA. He didn't lose any queens, any drones this game. He has the right amount of roaches, and he will split up his army if needed. And he is generating creep now inside his main, so he will be able to attack even harder in the main. And these Reapers just aren't doing anything anymore. Whilst these roaches off creep do good against Reapers, when they are on creep, they rape Reapers.
I know he's playing absolutely brilliantly right now, and there's the Baneling nest that has just been planted in the back of the base. 3 Reapers do manage to swing by the Xel'Naga watchtower, but Morrow again with this 7 barrack style, and even finding the money to get the reactors, and there's the engineering bay going down, there's the orbital command. Morrow loves this mass barrack style early on. He scans and sees that there is nothing here, and he is going to run up. Will he be able to take out the Baneling nest? There it is. It's going down to half health, and he does manage to kill it. Brilliant play by Morrow taking that down, but IdrA is the king of defense. He is not taking that much damage and rebuilds it in the back of his base again.
Second extractor going down now for IdrA. He needs the gas to actually start morphing all these Banelings. And let's look actually at Morrow's army right now. He's gone back to Bio, Marine, Marauders, is Stim, and yes, Stim is being done as well as the combat shield. And IdrA might be in trouble now because he doesn't have these Mulists which saved him last game, and Morrow is pushing out right now.
Look at this amazingly muscular push advancing out by Morrow. He has a lot of Reapers, he has a lot of Marauders and Marines, just a giant army count altogether, and he might try to swing into the back, but oh, classic mistake. Got to be very careful of those high ground cliffs, and here are the Roaches trying to swing around to pick off these Reapers. It will look like he'll get a few extra kills. Morrow trying to advance over to this cliff, but there the few extra shots go down.
Morrow's actually moving in with a counterattack, but IdrA, look at IdrA.
The Lings managed to cut everything off, and there's the Stim and go, and this might be a huge win for IdrA. Morrow needs to control this very well. Zerglings are doing a lot of damage to the Marauders, but Morrow is controlling pretty decently well.
He's winning against Morrow's army. These Lings are doing so much damage. Brilliant control there by Morrow to not actually lose the fight that badly. But Morrow, I mean, IdrA's actually, look at all these Lings. He reinforced so well. More Lings, more Roaches. Morrow's under a lot of pressure because he has not got that many.
And there's the Stim, and he's trying to micro, but like you said, a lot of those are on the orange health. They are very weak, and oh, all the Zerglings are dead. Those Roaches are not going to be able to combat all of these Marauders. Morrow is going to be pushing back aggressively. Morrow actually pulling ahead in the food count. That early Reaper harass has keeping IdrA well battered down, and IdrA uncharacteristically up at 1,000 minerals and gas. I have never seen him with that much money ever.
I'm not sure exactly why he is up that far. This is unlike him, as you said. He is expanding now. It wouldn't surprise me if he has to pump units out. I don't know why it is that high. Upgrades, units. I think what it was, if I'm looking at the Queen's energy, he didn't lava inject, and that's how the resources got that high.
Very surprising move coming out of IdrA. His mechanics are his strongest point, his ability to not forget what his focus should be in the gameplay, and during those battles, it needed to be continuing to macro and produce units, and that is how Morrow is slowly pulling ahead here. We see a lot of Banelings are out right now. Baneling, Zergling, Roach, all the tier 1 units, incredibly difficult to combat.
And I love the way that Morrow's gone for this third. Very nice play here by Morrow. The macro style is awesome. I also love the way IdrA is scouting with this Overlord in the main. Sees exactly everything. IdrA's gaining for his third, but I'm not sure, is Morrow pushing out? No. He is only scouting with a couple of SCVs and just making sure that this creep isn't pushed any further towards himself.
And some SCVs are trying to advance out here to scout. They will get taken out by these forces. It appears it's raining here in Starcraft land. And it does look like, oh, look at the money scan by Morrow, spotting everything. Stims to run in to try to pick off something, but needs to be careful. If he can pull back behind that shrubbery, he will be hidden. And does he have any medevacs coming? Now finally adding on the reactor. That is going to take a long time to get finished. So most of the army will maintain that orange or yellow health.
Looking at the resource count right now, and they're not actually floating that much money. IDrA, on the other hand, is still at 1,000 gas. He needs to start spending this. He doesn't have the minerals. He's up to 700 minerals. Very uncharacteristic from IDrA right now. And look how many units he has. But Morrow is playing so well. I love this placement of the bunkers in case IDrA does decide to push, and he can always fall back to these bunkers.
I know, I love this forward bunker placement, so awesome. 2 Marines also popping up to the Xel'Naga watchtower, because Morrow is now expanding to the gold. He will be beginning to transfer SCVs. Transferring right under the nose of this Overlord, but was IdrA watching there at that point in time? Looks like +1 infantry armor has not been started. IdrA has gotten +1 carapace himself, and IdRA's also very quickly teching towards a hive.
He is taking towards the hive. He has infestors out right now as well, and they could be game-changing. We saw how well Damaga used them in the third game, in the fourth game, the super long fourth game, and he used them so well. Will IDrA be able to get off superb fungal growth and use the infested Terrans? He is now getting this third base up and running.
This is very, very nice play by Morrow, just guaranteeing himself an absolutely amazing economy. He could even throw down barracks beyond these initial 7, but again, he needs to start getting more upgrades. And here's a huge medevac drop in the back of the base, and not being able to take it down, or maybe will, and the fungal growth. Oh my God,
and the
that did not go well in the slightest. IdrA is going to get the chance to pull ahead. And he needs to run these medevacs out.
He's going to loop up for medevacs as well. That was a slight blunder there by Morrow. He should have got them away. Unfortunately, he didn't. And IDrA looks like he's going to counter-attack. This is it. These bunkers are in place. IDrA knows they're there. And I'm not sure if this is the best decision IDRA's had all game, but he is running into a lot of units. Bailings are coming through. Oh my God, my voice is dying.
Oh my God, IdrA, that was a gigantic blunder. All he really killed off was that depot and that bunker. The medevacs are still there healing, and worst of all, IdrA attacked in one big giant line. He didn't group everything up for a very solid surround, just attacked them directly from the main, and that cost him dearly. This top left expansion is running brilliantly. This command center is almost done, and if Morrow can just clear out his half of the mapping and begin slowly inching forward with his huge Marine Marauder army and lots of tanks.
The use of that bunker there, the second bunker as well, as long as that the supply depot and the tanks as well, that was great defense there by Morrow. And it looks like IDRA's going down to the third, or I'm not exactly sure what he's doing right now, but he's got to be careful. That tank is doing a lot of damage. That tank's only been there for a few seconds and got 14 kills already.
I know, this is great placement by Morrow. He is always going to be guaranteed having vision of that Xel'Naga watchtower. IdrA trying to reposition, and the one transition he is making is to Ultralisks. I'm not entirely sure I like this. I would have preferred Broodlords that would allow him to break that entrenched position a little bit more, because this is very, very difficult for IdrA to bust through, and especially in this narrow entryway, and that is exactly what Morrow is going to abuse. In fact, Morrow should be very grateful that IdrA elected to expand to this location.
Yeah, and here we go. Morrow is actually pushing right now. He is stim. Tanks are sieging, and the Ultralists are not out.
Oh, and the target fire, goodbye hatchery. But look at the fungal growth getting everything. These tanks need to do so much damage, and it looks like Morrow might be able to come out ahead. IdrA does manage to kill off a lot, but look at this macro by Morrow. He doesn't care that his entire army was fungal growth. He is just continuing to push in here, and Morrow is managing to take IdrA in a straight-up match.
And not only does he lose his hatchery, he's going to lose the Ultras.
Oh, and he's going to get the upgrade. No, he doesn't finish the upgrade. Wow, what amazing timing in the drones. Wait a minute, that's not where the drones want to be. They will end up retreating, but not before taking some heavy losses.
And that attack hit IdrA right before Ultras came out. That was perfect. And I'm not sure if it was intended or not. It looks like IdrA will clean up. Oh, look at that. He doesn't even manage to clean up the rest of the units. Morrow picks him up and is going to abuse the fact that there are no Mutalisks in this game. There is nothing to take down these medevacs, and they will retreat safely.
More Marines, Marauders, and tanks just pouring out of Morrow's base. He is swinging back around to retreat. These gold expansions do give you a lot of money, though, so he could potentially be safe. It looks like that one Overlord is still blocking the third. A few isolated units get picked off, but look at IdrA only having the +2 carapace upgrade, and that's it. This drop at the back is going to be repelled, but Morrow, wow, only just now starting +2 and doesn't have a second engineering bay anywhere.
The Ultra's cavern is up, and he's down on the natural. It is up on the natural. IdrA is not actually using his queen that efficiently. Look how much energy it has.
173.
It's not using it. That is a huge blunder that has been happening all game. He has managed to take the gold. He is regaining his fourth, but I think it might be too late. IdrA needs to pull back into this game. Ultras are coming out, but the count of Marauders, he has so many Marauders, 21 Marauders, and they will make such short work of these Ultralists.
And look at the bunker placement. Very nice there by Morrow. IdrA going to try to swing around, try to get off some huge fungal growths. Half the army isn't even present. They are trying to get to the front to fungal growth, but he will be able to retreat to the rest of his army, and IdrA has pulled way too far forward. These Ultralists are stuck out in the middle of nowhere, but the great fungal growths will allow IdrA to retreat.
And IdrA has to retreat. He really cannot fight. He's fighting a losing battle right now. There are so many units. He has to retreat. He is not on creep. The infestors are going to go down.
No.
That is so much gas that IdrA is losing right now. And Morrow is in a comfortable position. And
Morrow wins the straight-up match.
Wow.
Oh my God, that's so hard to do against IdrA. I mean, we said this multiple times in this tournament that IdrA and Damaga, the longer you let the game go on, the bigger of an advantage they have, but Morrow proving everyone wrong, doing amazing attack timing, constant harass, constant pressure, and just obliterating IdrA's third base.
That was an almost perfect game there by Morrow. He played so well. I mean, everything just worked so smoothly. Everything was smooth. Every transition he did was amazing. His macro was there, his micro was there. He was up to 4 bases at the end of that game, and he's playing really well, and he did not let IdrA sit back. He was pressuring, pressuring. And I love the way that Morrow